Well, hello everyone, and welcome to episode 23. We are tonight discussing 10/31/94 at Glen Falls Civic Center in Glen Falls, New York. It is our first of our many Halloween discussions we're going to have. Welcome, Ian. I can't wait.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here, and this is very exciting. This is one of those shows of lore. We've talked about a couple, but this one is some pretty heavy special stuff. So
and rightly so.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So they're donning a Halloween costume. So that's the deal here. If you're not familiar,
a musical costume,
and this is the first time Phish had ever done it. So they performed their normal 2-set show, but in the middle, they put a whole nother set of a whole album. And tonight, that album is going to be the Beatles' White Album. This is the first time they ever did it. And remind me, Sam, did they do the ballot box this year, or was that that was for the next year, right?
No, they did, I believe, this year, and then 95, which was the Who's Quadrophenia, which we'll be discussing later. Both of those were fan-sourced. Right. The most votes won. But then after that, it was the band deciding. And we, on the top 100, we are going to be discussing 5 Halloween shows. And there are 3 Halloween shows not on there. And I believe, in my opinion, at least one of those that happened after this book was made would also make the list.
Yeah, agreed.
I think the Kazvat would make the list.
Sure.
But, we'll digress about that.
I'll argue that Haunted House should definitely make the list too. Well, actually,
Haunted House is on it. Haunted House is
2014.
Okay. Yep. Okay. It is on there. We'll be discussing way at the end of this thing, somewhere in the 90s.
Well, back to the White Album. So I will say for myself, that I mentioned on this podcast before, the Beatles were my band, especially like in 94. And then when I heard that Phish had performed all of the White Album, I've been listening to my music my whole life, and I had never heard of a band doing something like this. I'm guessing it probably had been done in some form or another, but this was like a band played a whole album by another band. It was just very shocking, and really exciting. And I remember hunting down the bootleg of the show and listening to it over and over and over again. And I'll talk about the things I love about it and the things I don't love about it. But it's a
feat.
Formative show for me. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I guess first and foremost, that's what I see is it. Like you said, being a Beatles fan and growing up with them, and then this was shocking, to people that were Phish fans and the lore around it. But it's just a massive feat of music. It's a huge amount to learn. I mean, they were on tour. So mid-tour, it's not like they one-offed this show. They rehearsed it for months. They just kind of rehearsed it over time. I'm sure they did. And I'm sure every night they were, practicing songs. And I mean, this was a massive, massive night of music. I mean, they walked on stage at 9:03 and it ended after 3 a.m.
Wow.
And it's over 4 hours of music. It was just an impressive feat. Really was.
Yeah. I mean, just listening to it at this age, you're like listening to it, just be like, how are these people even standing? Like, this is over. This is not to mention the band who's playing it, which, they're running on pure adrenaline and so excited to be delivering this art and this moment to the fans. I'm sure they were pumped, but it was a lot.
The room seemed excited. People were, there's video of this too, which is really, it's fun to watch. It's a little jerky, but in general, like the audio on it's good and it's fun to watch. And I picked up some cool things like Mike playing his modulus bass again, like at 7/8/94.
Yeah.
But you can kind of see it. It's like a 7,800 indoor theater. There's some pretty cool little anecdotes around it. And I think the audience, and this first set, I think, as we go through different Halloween shows, stands up against any other Halloween first set. Like, it's really great. And the band and the audience, everyone is pumped up. And there's just really a sense of achievement and accomplishment all the way through this show. And it starts right at the top. It's great.
No doubt, yeah. I think the first set has some massive highlights to the point where if you just played me this first set as someone's show or even a Phish show, I'd be like, what a freaking show. Not even considering what comes after it. So, well, let's get into it.
Yeah, I got one last venue thing that I found that really interesting as I kind of went through all the researches. I mean, they also released all these Halloween shows. This was volume 13, so you can find perfect sounding copies, just through Spotify or anywhere. But they played here one more time, which I didn't know. They played 10/23/2013.
Right.
Which is weird for them to play such a small indoor theater.
Right.
That late in their career. And they opened with Back in the USSR.
Right.
And then they encored While My Guitar Gently Weeps as like a really nice nod to this show. So
absolutely.
I thought that was a cool little cap on the venue itself and on the band's like broader career. Because, I mean, that was almost 20 years later. It's really cool to have that full circle.
That must have been a great show. A really exciting show to be into. And you mentioned the video as well. And Trey is absolutely peak Muppet, or cousin Nick from Addams Family, if you will. But yeah, and he's wearing this like giant oversized black sweat t-shirt. I can't tell what it is.
The stripy pants.
Yeah, whatever the antithesis of style is. This is it. But he is just feeling it so hard.
Oh my God.
What a joy to watch. Just impossible to watch him without a giant smile on your face.
And I think Fishman gets MVP for a lot of this show. I mean, beyond later when we'll talk about when he gets naked. But he really, his drumming is over the moon. Like it is. Yeah, the band crushes us. Everybody all around. But Fishman really pay attention.
I was going to give some props to Mr. Gordon as well.
Yeah. Yeah, all around. Great. So set one. Coming out with, I guess, the perfect Halloween opener. They're all in the masks. I mean, Trey is in the giant weird old man mask, it seems, I guess. I don't know. Would you call it an old man mask? It's pretty, and at some point just rips it off and throws it. Fishman has a weird like spider hat on his head. Right. It seems like it was a little sloppy because they're trying to, have the masks and be a part of Halloween. But it's like how people tell me how like, in a kitchen we should all dress up for Halloween. Right. Like, you realize I have to cook. Yeah. Like I need to be in clothes built for cooking. I can't like wear a costume and do my job. And I think they quickly but Trey realized he can't do that. Right. But I don't think it really damages Frankenstein too much.
No. Frankenstein was a nice, fun opener. And, again, I said this before, but I bet a lot of people in the audience like didn't even know what song it was. But it was high energy. I'm sure they loved it. And
I just watched Wayne's World 2, which came out in 93, and Frankenstein is featured prominently at a moment, and I think it's right at the top credits. Right. And maybe this, like, that homage, like, maybe it made Frankenstein more popular, because that movie was huge.
That's true.
So maybe that helped, but it was great.
But it was in Wayne's World 2?
Yeah, right at the top. I think it's top credits.
And then I remember in Wayne's World 1, Alice Cooper had Feed My Frankenstein. That was his song. Yep. Just making the Wayne's World connections.
He's a spooky man, that Alice.
But yeah, Frankenstein, nice to open, a big energy explosion. And then we crash right into Mrs. Crowd-Pleasing Sparkle.
Man, I felt like the band almost was going to go off the rails with the energy in this. Like, the crowd is freaking out. Yeah. I also wrote nice vest, Mike. So I guess he's got a fancy vest on. But like, this is when the Muppet with Trey starts. He is so pumped up, and like, just the energy is just bonkers this whole show. And to watch it, like, I really watched some of the video, but I think like right off the rip, the Frankenstein Sparkle is really, really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, killer opener to the show. Yeah. And then to Simple, right down to business. So Simple still pretty new, so it's not crazy exploratory, but I think so far in its career, this is by far the longest.
People talk about this Simple a lot. Yeah. I thought it was fine. Yeah. Big energy. There's some beautiful first moments of like calm breathing from the band, which I think it was so, energetic prior to that. It's nice. There's some really nice moments.
feel like this is a good happy medium. Simple, because Simple is kind of like a friendly song that people would like, but some of the longer Simples it's just too much to handle. And I think when you're a new listener to Phish, the repetitiveness of it can be kind of like, why is this interesting? But this Simple is nice, and then it kind of gets to the beautiful Simple jam. It touches upon some of those elements that we'll find in later Simple jams, but is still pretty close to the vest and pretty, easy to approach, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I could see the Simple being something that I would select to play for a newbie, and I really like it.
Yeah, I thought it was, I'd kind of shit on the Simple before, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was, the way it's placed in the flow of the set makes more sense than standalone. So I liked it this time.
Right.
And then to the first headphones, there's only 2 headphones in the book. And one of them is This Divided Sky, and shit, I forgotten about this one.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think, to me, This Divided Sky is like the first half, or the composed section at least, probably not even to the first half. It's suffering from high energy-itis. It's a little bit faster than normal, but certainly the second half just rips.
My God.
I mean, it kicks ass.
Yeah. And the room is freaking out.
Yeah, it's got a massive ending, but to the point where you're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
And I actually wrote that I thought that it would fit in well in the 1029 show that came before this, because it was like one of those, just the energy was ridiculous. Comparable to this night, I think. I think there was a little bit more nervousness on this night, but I think the energy levels are peers on both nights. And I just want to stress again what a travesty that 1029 is not on the top 100. And I'm hoping that
it'll be on our backups list, and we'll find some things to boot. Yeah, we can make our own. That's why we do this.
But yeah, Divided Sky.
Don't miss the Divided Sky. And then Harpua.
Yeah.
I also wrote down just a side comment. Are these the worst Phish lyrics?
Yeah, maybe.
I think they might be.
Yeah, I mean, in competition with Doglog, I guess.
Shabby pimpled chim slime, milky rash. Yeah. There's just some things. I don't know. As I get older, I'm like, yeah. Anyway, the vibration of life, 7 beats per second, is pretty funny.
Yeah.
The Barney's greatest hits backwards and the War Pigs quote. There's some funny stuff in here. I thought it was a good Harpua.
Yeah, definitely. And again, Halloween great placement. Just what the crowd needed. Yeah.
All of a sudden, on this one special day, they start to feel this strange vibration coming out of the ground. He's walking along in the woods, and he starts to feel the ground beneath his feet start to vibrate slightly. I think that we can kind of recreate that for you if you... living up in the woods, and he had come across a strange, the universe was kind of in line, and he had come across what we like to call the vibration of life. 7 beats per second. He felt it underneath his feet, and he could feel it, but the strange thing was on this particular day, being that it was the first Halloween ever, the vibration of life had something strange going on to it, and the spirit of Satan and the evil people beneath him and all the evil spirits in the world had somehow gotten in the way of the vibration of life, and suddenly he found that he was actually standing up above the vibration of death.
Yeah, and the band to kind of like step back and do some storytelling, and like they're really settled in at this point.
Right.
And I think sandwiched in between the Divided Sky and then the Julius that follows, which again is just straight fucking fire all the way through. It's a nice breath in the middle of like guitar rock city, you know?
Yeah, musically for sure. And then I think it also kind of, you know, they like to inform the crowd that they're going to see something special.
Yeah.
And they are doing that, you know. They don't just play Harpua in the middle of the first set. So, yeah, I'm sure when they started it, those who were in the know were like, oh, man. I suppose at that point, they probably had their fish bill, if they had fish bills that year.
I don't know. I'm not sure how it was announced. I know that they got like little silver and gold Gelt style coins when they came in, but I don't think that told the tale of what the album was.
Now that I think about it, putting the pieces together, it was a surprise because, right, the second set started off with that Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So they were like trying to fool, and then they did the Ed Sullivan, and so, yeah, they had to.
So maybe,
fans didn't
know. The fish bill thing might have come later, because I know Halloween 98 that we were at, when we walked in the door, we were handed the fish bill, so we knew what the album was going to be.
And we know Remain in Light has one, because I've seen that one.
Yeah.
So,
maybe it was when the band started choosing their own albums.
Right.
But, yeah. So Julius was fantastic. Don't sleep on that either. And then the Horse Silent, which is, I always see Horse Silent as really a standout on special nights.
Sure.
You know, New Year's Eve, Halloween. Traditionally, my favorite Phish shows don't fall on those big, you know, tentpole fancy nights where you're supposed to, be partying and doing all those things. But I think that when that song comes out, it's a really nice, it's a nice moment. And this one doesn't fail.
Well, I'll go against the grain a little bit here and say that I don't love the song placement, and it was an okay version. Like, to me, it wasn't the greatest version. It was an okay version. So maybe if it was like really great, I'd be like, okay. But like, I think like Harpua to the Julia straight into this Reba, which is one of my favorites, would have been a hell of a run. So the Horse is a little bit of a dip, but I still love you. I still love you, Horse Silent.
But yeah, this Reba is the second headphones, the second of the two headphones in the book. And really nice. I don't know. You talk me through it, because I do like this Reba. I think there's some cool moments of jamming. They keep returning to the theme in a smart way, and the peak is pretty big. But what do you?
I don't really have anything more to add to it. I mean, I talked about it a bit when we chose Rebas, because it was one of my top threes. And I think it just, for me, it's kind of perfectly played. I like the tempo of it, kind of works for me. And then it does have a little section in the jam that is kind of like, because this was a formative show for me, is kind of like it's what I imagine my ideal Reba to be, I guess. And so I think it is more rooted probably in nostalgia, but this one definitely does it for me, and well deserving of the headphone nod. I feel like you just kind of have to listen to it for yourself. Maybe it's your Reba and maybe it's not, but it has a soothing, euphoric quality to it that, obviously that's kind of Reba's hallmark, but I feel like it's a little bit stronger in this one for me.
It does a great job of taking it down to a whisper at the beginning.
Right.
And a great job of peaking really big at the end.
Right.
And everything in the middle, moves around and is really, really unique. So, yeah.
And finishing it off with the Golgi apparatus.
Yeah. What was it? Long night ahead here? That kind of thing. I think that's what they say at the end of Golgi.
Yeah.
We got a long night ahead here.
Settle in, everybody. Settle in. Mm-hmm. Got a long night ahead here. I thought Mike was, again, incredible in this Golgi. Yeah. And Trey just did the build. He's just so funny on these nights. I mean, he's just so excited. And it is like, I'm trying to think of another guitarist that's like watching a little kid play an instrument because they like, their emotions are so out of control, you know? I think like usually when I think of like lead guitarists, they're very kind of like controlled and calm and, you know, or a little introverted. And Trey is like such the opposite, sort of giddy little schoolboy that just wants to go crazy. And he really lets it out through his fingers. So.
Yeah, I always watch the rest of the band and gauge their reactions. And there's times I feel like they're like, oh man, dial it down just a notch or two. But I think most of the time they love that, you know, there's this gregarious outgoingness because a lot of them are very, you know, Mike especially, very stoic and very, you know, especially this point in his career. That's the Cactus, you know?
Right.
So, I think their roles are really played out really well. I think nowadays there is a lot less of that, but I mean, you get older.
Yeah.
So it happens.
We're all getting older.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for set one. So set one complete.
Really solid, quick, fast, perfectly played, like really top to bottom, great set of music.
Yep. And so we mentioned kind of coming into the set that they play this tease of
the heartbeat.
Yeah, the heartbeat at the beginning of Dark Side of the Moon to kind of like get everybody excited. I'm sure that must have been crazy. And then all of a sudden the cheering from Ed Sullivan when the Beatles were on. And ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles! And they come out and really a great sort of transition from the recording, the cheering and the recording to their intro into Back in the USSR. It plays kind of just like the album does. It's really cool.
Felix and jam with newspapermen and hundreds of the dark from all over the nation, and these veterans agree with me that the city never has witnessed the excitement stirred by these youngsters from Liverpool who call themselves the People. Now tonight, you're going to twice be entertained by them. Right now, and again in the second half of our show. Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles!
And it's just immediate intention. It shows they're here to do this thing, and they're very proud of themselves. You can tell they're like, you know, through the songs, like, we learned this shit, and we love to, like, they, you know, everyone talked about after 98 how the Velvet Underground show, when they covered Loaded, informed the style of jamming that they did at that time. And I feel like this album really informed their songwriting a little bit. There's quirky chord changes you kind of see in their songwriting at this time. I mean, anytime you're learning canon from a famous artist, you're going to pick up little tricks of, oh, I didn't know that chord could shift to this chord and how that would work. And I feel like the band really, really, you know, chewed on the scenery with this album a little bit. They really crushed it. There's a couple moments, but overall, this set is long. It is a lot of songs, isn't it? 30, 34, 32?
Yeah.
I can't remember. A lot of songs to master, not just learn, but to really master. Impressive.
Yeah, and Fishman, I think in terms of like when I'm listening to the album, Fishman feels the most like a different musician. Like I feel like he really learned to play like Ringo, because like as I'm listening to it, he doesn't sound exactly like Ringo, but he does not sound like Fishman to me.
No, lots of toms,
and that's really cool. It's just really really cool. And the rest of the guys I feel like are making a real effort, but it's I feel like it's probably more noticeable in drums than it would be in any of the other instruments.
I feel like there's moments, and we'll get into them, like the While My Guitar Gently Weeps solo, where Trey is kind of blending himself with Eric Clapton in that moment.
Right.
I would say more of a blending than a direct homage, whereas Fishman does homage Ringo in a lot of ways. And I mean, a lot of people say, like, what's the best part about Phish? And Fishman is considered that a lot.
Right.
You know, being the beating heart of the band. And I think he does a great job through this. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. But
impressed.
USSR, great energy, great opener. And then we kind of roll into Dear Prudence.
Yep.
Have anything to say about that?
No, just great.
Well,
I mean, we can blow through a lot of the show, and I think we'll each have moments, but there's so many songs I just wrote, great, cool, very cool, really well done, where they're just executed great. I mean, listen to this set if you like the Beatles. If you like big Phish jams, I mean, you can skip this set. There's a couple, but for the most part, I mean, if you don't like the Beatles, don't listen to this, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I totally agree. I think Dear Prudence for me is one of my favorite songs on the White Album. And I think it's well played. And I think like listening to Trey kind of try and do the repetitive chords, like he's trying to do it like it's in the song, but it's just something about it that doesn't, I don't know if he's too front in the recording, if I need more mic, but it's not like I think it's bad. But it just doesn't totally click for me in the way that Back in the USSR did. I'm being totally unreasonable. I'm just I'm with you, and we're talking about it, but
it was a little shaky, just a little bit.
Yeah, or
but then Glass Onion comes back and slams. Like it was great.
Absolutely, we got Let Me Tell You About Coyote the Pig.
Yeah, it's just making it their own a little bit.
Yeah, and I love that, and I think this is when I kind of started to notice. I think actually when it goes into Obla D, or actually it kind of transitions into like a little sort of Space Jam that kind of goes in to Obla D, which the album does, and but it's different than how it is on the album. And I thought this is so cool the way they're not just playing the individual songs, but they're playing the whole album, and they're trying to like do all the transitions and the songs that kind of like bleed into each other. They're going to do that, but in their own fishy way. And they just so clearly put so much thought and heart into this performance. It really, it tears me up a little bit.
Yeah, no, I firmly agree. And this is, I mean, our last time we recorded, we discussed our least favorite songs from the White Album, and this was mine. Obla D is my least favorite. And I believe now, having listened to this again, I retain that as my choice. But for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
That, you can go back and listen to the end of our last episode if you really want me to hear. If you want to hear me bash it, they do a really well job playing it. But I can't remember what your least favorite was. I don't remember if you selected one.
I don't know if I did either, but I think it probably would be Piggy's, I guess.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, the White Album is not one of those albums that I'm like, there's bad song on it. I really don't think. I love listening to it all the way through. But if I was forced to choose, the Obla D was kind of fast. I thought it was cool.
Yep,
I like that song. And then Honey Pie.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
good page.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Agreed.
Especially the second half. The Bungalow Bill, it's just kind of Bungalow Bill. I didn't really have much to say about it, but
I wrote whistling on stage is hard.
That's
it is.
That's true.
And they do a great job, but it is tough.
And then into Piggy's, and I actually thought Piggy's was really fun. No. Did I miss something?
Nope, it's you got a little ways to go.
Oh, sorry, I jumped.
You got While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Oh, right.
Which there's like 3 or 4 songs from this set that I think, I would put my little like asterisk next to as if you're gonna blow through this set and only want to listen to a few. Mm-hmm. This is one. I mean, it's possibly one of Trey's greatest guitar solos he ever played. I'm going to go on that on that limb.
In this particular version?
Yes, it is. I was shocked. I was really like and watch it too if you have the time. Watch the YouTube video of this because oh my god, like it is. I highly recommend. It's incredible.
Yeah,
it's like a cross between like classic 60s 70s guitar rock god with like some of that like 90s hair metal almost. Like it is huge over the top guitar soloing. I thought it was really great. Every time, like, it just keeps building and going and going and going, and is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was considered beforehand, like what are we gonna make the standout? And it seems like
put a little extra on.
Yeah, the little extra mustard. And let's be frank, there are 3 songs in this White Album that deserve to be earmarked, and if you don't get those 3 songs right, I don't know what to say to you about it. You're not a Phish fan. You don't know what you're doing. They're so obviously head and shoulders above every other song that it is kind of like it's impossible not to notice.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure, While My Guitar Gently Weeps is one of those. Well, now that you said it's one of the greatest solos of all time, I'm gonna have to go back and re-listen. I do think it's incredible, but it's funny, all 3 of these songs, I think the guitar solos in all 3 are incredible, and they're all different. And I think that's pretty staggering achievement in itself, but we'll get there.
Okay, I'm with it. And then Happiness is a Warm Gun.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's a tough cover.
Yeah,
but they
played it really well.
Yeah, they did good.
It's more than notes. Fantastic. And then with Martha, the next song, I just wrote, just like the whistling, I wrote, high notes are hard.
Yeah, and it was fun to like listen to Paige take the lead for a minute.
Yeah, getting up there is, I mean, when you get into the falsetto range and you're on a big stage and it's outside of your comfort zone a little bit. I mean, they did such a good job of shifting around vocal duties on this album, and I think everyone chose the right songs for their range, and this one was just a little out of his range, but really well done.
Right. Well, Trang sang
such a great song.
Trey sang it, right? If I remember.
Oh, is it really? Maybe.
Oh, I don't know. Was it Paige or Trey? I don't know. I know Paige was playing the piano, obviously. But
yeah.
Well, whoever sang it fucked it up, guys.
The high notes are hard. I'm not gonna get angry. And then the I'm so tired switches to Mike singing, which I just wrote, go Mike.
Yeah.
He does a good job.
Yeah, that was fun too. And then Blackbird, just like you'd expect it. Perfect.
Yeah, very nice.
Uh-huh.
Paige again, like really great playing, and Trey and Paige bouncing off each other.
Yeah.
It was really nice. And then Piggies, potentially your least favorite,
which was kind of jokey.
Yes.
and it had a slightly different rhythm. And I liked when they kind of like mixed up the sort of arrangements, so it had a slightly different arrangement, I guess.
Yeah, it was good.
And then Rocky Raccoon, which is obviously is going to be pretty out of tune for a little bit, and it was, but that's okay.
Yeah, I mean that was close to my least favorite song on this album instead of Obladi. Like those are two where I'm like, they're both good songs. I just, I don't know. It's that like McCartney stuff that just rubs me the wrong way. Right. I love him so much, and his songwriting is really masterful. There was just some where like there's just some schmaltz I don't love.
Oh, for sure. I love the word schmaltz, but I don't necessarily love it in my music. The Rocky Raccoon is an interesting song because even on the White Album, you know, it is like even Paul singing's a little bit out of tune and the song's a little off kilter and it doesn't exactly make sense. And I remember that was like one of the songs where like I didn't get it at first. I'm like, what's with this song? And then when it kicks into the schmaltz at the end, like, da, 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 and then I found myself walking across campus or whatever singing the song. I was like, yes, I like Rocky Raccoon. And then it became a favorite for a little bit. But yeah, so and then we're kind of finishing up disc 1 here. Got a few more songs. We got Don't Pass Me By, which was fun.
Yep, upbeat bluegrass. Really, it was great. I thought that the shift in arrangement and bumping it up in tempo was really cool. It was fun.
Yeah, that was one of the first disc highlights, I thought. And Why Don't We Do It in the Road? Fishman. Right? Yep. Laying it out.
Yeah, with Trey moving over to drums, Fishman singing. I thought the thrusting was a little, maybe the precursor to him getting naked, I guess.
Why don't we do it in the road? 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 No one will be watching us. Why don't we do it in the road?
But yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And he seemed very stoic and straight-faced while he's thrusting towards the crowd singing.
Yeah.
A little shy maybe, but which seems odd for him, but really, really, it was funny. There's some good comic relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of wonder, like, at this point in the show, like people that were like tripping really hard, like, are they digging this? Are they struggling with it because there's not a lot of improvisation? Are they kind of like, I can't wait till the third set to get back to the jams?
I've had the same thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm curious. It depends on the kind of Phish fan you are, you know?
Yeah.
Like, this wasn't a psychedelic masterpiece all the way through.
No.
There's no big jams, long jams. There's no deep exploration kind of music, but it's a feat, and there's so much music. It's so much music.
Yeah.
So many songs and chords and notes, and it's just a lot.
Well, at least they didn't have to worry about what they were going to do when they got out of the show. That was taken care of. They're going to play the whole trip.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get to I Will.
Yeah, this section was weird. I thought the I Will and then the move into the birthday kind of cake presentation of Brad Sands and stuff. He's wearing the Fishman dress. I thought this was a weird lag in the show.
Yeah.
Between Why Don't We Do It in the Road and then the Your Blues, like that gets back to rocking. But this was like a weird lag.
Right.
I don't know. There's a long set of music.
It is.
So maybe it's a break for the band. I couldn't quite tell.
Yeah, like a little breather. Although the intro to Birthday, like the Brad Sands presentation, it was kind of psychedelic. So like I could see being in the audience just being like, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, it is strange.
So I did think that was kind of a cool little section. But yeah, it wasn't like the greatest version of Birthday. But Your Blues was really funny. I thought it was like I thought it was a hoot.
Yeah, it was pretty rocking.
Yeah.
It's got that big, like, swaggery, off-kilter kind of thing that a lot of the songs in this album have, but it's well done.
And then we get to Mother Nature's Son.
Another,
short little pretty one. And they did a good job, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then another one of the couple of songs that, in my opinion, really stand out, that Everybody's Got Something to Hide, Paige.
Yeah.
At the end, like, whoa.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I was very impressed. There's like, that was like the Trey moment earlier with While My Guitar Gently Weeps, where it steps out of the norm and showcases someone who, as a virtuosic piano player, is better than anyone that was in the Beatles at this time.
Oh, for sure.
With pure virtuosity, and it shows what that song can really do. And I was super impressed. There's these weird moments in this set where I'm like instantly just transfixed again.
Right.
Like I've been a little lost and a little, well, I just powered through 4 songs. I'm looking around and I'm like, holy shit. Like,
right.
I would think being in the audience was that, but times 100, because you're there and you're, everyone around you. So there were enough moments to pull you back in to where, I mean, even if you were very high, I don't think you're going to get lost. And you
for sure.
lose the flow,
Yeah, Happiness is a Warm Gun was one of those where like the composed section of the song at the beginning was a little rough for me, but yeah, Page at the end was certainly tied it all together and made it worth it.
Yeah,
that's
but after that is
song that I would say hard song to cover. So they did great. That is an especially song hard to cover.
Well, I think the next one here with Sexy Sadie is as well.
Yeah.
It's a little sloppy, and it seems like of the songs on the album, it was a tough one for them.
I think the production on the song on the album is, in a way, kind of what makes it great. And it has this, I don't even know how to describe it, but just the way the piano kind of flows into each other, it almost seems like they kind of erased some time and made the notes a little closer to each other than... I'm not sure. Can you speak to the production on the piano in Sexy Sadie?
I think it's just sneaky. I think you almost don't you don't notice it when you listen to it, but then as you excavate the song a little and you're in I mean, I've been in bands where like, we'll just learn this cover. It's so much fun. And you start to dig through it and really pick it apart. And you're like, holy shit, there is so much going on that's so much more difficult than I thought.
Yeah.
And super high vocals again. The However Big You Think You Are gets so high at the end of that. Like, It's out of the range of anyone in the band. It's really tough. I mean, that kind of singing is just hard in general.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, it's a little sloppy, but they do their best. And then Helter Skelter, which is scary.
It's scary.
It's just scary.
I thought it was banging. I thought I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it's real improv. They really get out there at the end, and then the gorgeous "I Have Blisters on My Fingers" a cappella ending. Was really cool. This was in my handful of must listens from this set. This is one of them.
Yeah. I guess there's 5 now that we're talking about it. I guess there's 5 super standouts.
It is rocking.
You could even maybe 6.
maybe you put like a little like musical like piece together, and like these are the ones you have to listen to.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah,
and then long, which again is one of my favorites off of the album because of the production. Just like I remember the first time I listened to that song on headphones, just the way the bass sounds in that song.
Yeah.
I mean, my lord. And then that was kind of like my, when I was poor in like the 90s, I couldn't afford speakers that could deliver real bass. And then eventually when I could afford those speakers and you put on long, and I'm like, oh my God, it's not cracking. It's actually it's actually delivering what's there in the music was very exciting. So again, impossible to kind of recreate this in concert, but
it was just very quiet. Like it was a nice rendition. It just was really gentle and subtle.
And as it is on the album, I will give kudos to Phish on that as well. Like if you're listening to the White Album when Long comes on, you're like have to turn it up. You're like, wait, I can't hear the song. It's too low. Until it really kicks in at the end. So anyway, Savoy. Oh no, Honey Pie.
No, Revolution number 1.
Oh, what? How did I?
And this again is on that list. Pretty sick jam at the end of this.
Yeah,
and
I mean, I have to say,
they're itching to improvise at this point.
There are very few like guitar solos that make the hair stand up on my arm and make me smile and giddy with joy. And I don't know what it is about like the last minute of this Revolution and what he's playing, but
great.
That's a happy fucking jam.
There's some moments in this set, and that was one of them for me too. I was like, shit, don't end. This is just so great.
Yeah. I'm sure the people
they find the moments.
We're like, don't let this end. The tingles.
But there's so many songs, and at this point, they are like starting to get close, and they're getting pretty excited that they've made it this far and done so many great things. And I mean, just as a musician too, those chords are just joyous to kind of play over, and it's just really add that to the list of musts.
You're right. I actually wrote on my book here, this is when they get comfortable. Like this was the moment when they finally relaxed and got comfortable.
It's the downhill slide here. And then Honey Pie with the cactus intro.
Yeah.
Was great. And Savoy Truffle was that's another hard one. Production value.
Right.
Like the studio version is another sneaky one with so much going on.
Is George kind of like Mike Gordon in that he writes songs that are hard to perform live? Is that
probably?
Is there an overlap there?
I think there's some overlap. Awkward shifting chord changes sometimes where it doesn't make a lot of sense. Or you're in the studio and it makes a lot of sense, and then when you get up on stage with 4 guys, it's not rock and roll. It's tough.
Right. Or we have space in the room and things, get lost.
Well, I guess Savoy Truffle does rock, but didn't Plump cover that song?
I think they did once. I remember them playing that.
Yeah, I feel like we saw that.
Yeah.
That was cool. And then Cry Baby Cry.
Cry Baby Cry. Oh boy.
With another cool little jam on the end chords.
Yeah, this one was like one that stands out to me because it's like one of those incredible Trey progressions that I don't feel that I've ever heard again. Like it's almost like he found it in this song. It works beautifully. It's nothing like the original version. And he like adds this whole nother improvisational dimension to the song. And it's gorgeous. And then almost to the point where like I wish you would tack that onto one of your own songs or another song.
Yeah, it was really
I've
great.
never heard him play that progression again. Not saying he has
The way it works into Revolution number 9 was designed for sure. And really well executed, I thought. Though, and at that point they're excited.
Right.
And I thought this took on a real, maybe the heartbeats at the beginning recapping themselves here. Like this was like a Sid Barrett Pink Floyd Revolution number 9. It was very psychedelic and out there, and Fishman doing the vacuum solo, and then I mean, I don't know if the band had decided on him getting naked, but Page especially was very embarrassed. When you watch them throw their arms around each other, he's just covering his face and looking down and just laughing so hard. And it's just Fishman walking around naked for a while.
Yeah.
It's something. Maybe the exclamation point to the accomplishment of the album. I don't know.
I completely agree. That's Fishman's way of proving that he's just as crazy as any of those classic drummers of the 60s and 70s.
I hope so.
And he was. He was. That greasy little
Isn't
troll.
It one of, God, what is it? Is it on a live one? When you look at the liner notes, there's a picture of him naked?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm like, when I was a kid, I remember getting an album and going, when was this guy naked on stage?
Right.
And then hearing about this show.
Is there a stripe across his privates? I can't remember. I'd have to look at
I think so. I believe so. Let's hope so.
Well, that's it for the White Album. And wow, what a ride that was. I mean, I can't even believe we have another set ahead of us. This is kind of
we powered through it, but it is a lot of listening.
It is.
It took me a few days life is busy. I wish I could sit down for this long and just spend 4 or 5 hours listening to music. But it was a lot. Maybe pick apart some pieces, listen to it in stretches. It doesn't need to be all at once, but it is just a lot, and it's really, really well executed.
Yeah.
A bold accomplishment that is done with aplomb.
No doubt should be, towards the top of the list when listing Phish's major achievements.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, I listened to the White Album section with my kids, and we were doing some drawing, and my wife Susie walked in the room, and she asked, she was like, "Oh, like, who is this?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's Phish." And she's like, "This doesn't sound like Phish." I'm like, "Well, they're playing the Beatles." And she's like, "Well, I know it's the Beatles, but it doesn't sound like the Beatles either." So I was wondering what band was covering the Beatles, but she's like, "I never would have guessed Phish." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
Oh, that's great.
So, yeah.
That's really cool.
They obviously weren't singing because she would know Trace and Poison Heartbeat, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's a hallmark of how well they did, I think.
Yeah,
in a cool
indeed.
way.
Indeed.
And I do think they took a couple songs and made them their own, which I really love too.
Yeah.
But then after leaving all that on the stage, you take a break and you come back out for set 3, and I'm not sure how to feel about this set. I mean, I'm interested in digging into it with you.
Yeah.
Where, like, when we saw the 98 Halloween show,
Sure.
The first set was great. Second set was unbelievable.
Right.
And then when they came out for set 3, I was really excited.
Yeah.
And it got weird and was very awkward. And I mean, people still talk about it being great, but I was close. I mean, I was in a good spot close to the stage, and it was really weird.
Yeah.
And the band just walked off stage at some point.
Oh, yeah. We were.
And I heard all these rumors that they were mad and that the energy was fucked up. And it was this Long Wolfman's brother, and then it got really weird.
Yeah.
I always feel like set 3 at these kind of shows set 3 of Halloween can go a lot of different directions.
It's true. Compared to many of the others, I think this one holds up quite well.
It's just a really good set of 94 Phish.
Yeah. I mean, like the David Bowie and the Antelope, I think would both be, considering what I had heard so far in the show, were very welcome. Like, I think much needed, like 10-minute jams. I think the crowd it needed that Bowie. And I think they came out and they delivered. I mean, is it like the most exploratory Bowie ever? No. Is the part at 7 minutes and 30 seconds fucking just absolutely incredible? Yes, it is.
Sure.
So it does have some high points, but yeah, I think if it had gone like, I don't know, like Bowie, Slave, Antelope or something like that, that could have been like really crazy. But to drop it down to bouncing right after the Bowie was they seem very intent on keeping the whole crowd happy. Like, we know there's some heads here, but we know there's some girlfriends here, and we know this is a Halloween show, and this is, whatever, maybe a little bit bigger venue for us. I'm not even.
And they've
sure
asked a lot of the audience already.
Yeah, and so they're going to try and make it kind of like friendly in a way, and they do seem to be making a conscious effort.
This bouncing is note perfect.
Yeah, it really is.
Like,
yeah, they're very
it's great,
well done.
and
yeah,
it's just kind of goes 1-2 all the way through ish. Like the slave is also very patient, tight, concise, well done, and the rift, and I mean everything. The sleeping monkey, is it maybe because the Let It Be tease in Sleeping Monkey that's there?
Right.
Not tease, like straight rip off in that section.
It's from that.
I thought that was kind of cool, and Trey's solo just rips in that. Like,
I love this.
The band crushes through this whole show. I don't see any of these being like songs I'm going to go back and listen to again right away.
No.
But like, if this band played this set now, it would be considered like one of the best sets they've ever played.
Sure.
Like perfect execution. Band still have they still have great energy.
Yeah.
Really great. And yeah, the Antelope to Close was great.
Yeah.
I really, really thought it was like, if you're gonna pick a 9-minute or so Antelope, this one it's up there.
Yeah, it was top notch, and I really love the costume contest. Like, not for like musicality or anything, but in terms of like taking a time capsule or a time machine, back to the mid 90s. You can just, I don't know, there's something in the audio where you can kind of feel it, I guess.
Well, the Amazing Grace before the costume contest was a really interesting choice, and then there's like this dance groove under the costume contest,
right?
That devolves into like a little jam that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think auditorially it has moments and was fun. And then Squirming Coil to truly finish. I thought before it went just into Page, the full band section was beautiful.
It was.
I love when that happens. Like the end of at the beginning of the jam, when it's the whole band, is just so nice. And Page's solo was very subdued and introspective. Mm-hmm. I think it was a quiet, it's 3 a.m, guys. I'm going to put a gentle, lilting end to our night instead of trying to be too dramatic.
I absolutely thought it was the perfect ending. I
yes,
can't even...
Absolutely.
There is no other choice. It's like one of those things where like, that's the choice.
And it was... He read the room, he felt the room, and he executed so well.
Yeah.
And then, on the official release, there is a 13-minute soundcheck jam.
Correct.
Which I also listened to. It gets good around 4 minutes or so, and there's a bunch of teases. There's a Star Wars quote. Yeah. And there's some really cool kind of Latin jamming through it. I thought that was really great. It was fun.
It was silly.
Jump to 4 minutes, but from 4 till the end, it was really fun.
It's funny because people say that there's... Well, this is debatable, but then there's a Star Wars tease in the Antelope from the night before in 1029, which I have listened to that Antelope a gazillion times, and I do not hear it. I cannot hear it. But
is this like the Fire on the Mountain from New Year's '95 that I've never heard?
Very much like that. But but the Antelope from 12/9/94 has a Star Wars tease, and it's like the one Trey plays in this jam, where I'm like, yes, that's a Star Wars tease. So he was working on it, getting ready. Maybe he didn't quite nail it on 1029.
Finding the way to slip it in there.
Yeah. I will add, just because I like to bring up at least a Gorge show every show, just to annoy you all. We were talking about Squirming Coils that have a really nice full band ending, and I think the Squirming Coil that opens 7/16/98 is it 7/16 or is 7/17? Whatever. The Squirming Coil Gorge 98 has a really nice full band jam at the end, as opposed to the Page solo.
98 Gorge was so good.
So for our project this episode, Sam and I decided, since there weren't any like massive standout jams, aside from, I might say, the Rebus, but I had chose that already, we decided to do Beatles cover songs by other bands. So we're really opening up the gates here.
Yes, this was a fun one.
Yeah, so, and it was very, very difficult.
Yes.
But one thing that I did realize that I'll just tell you, Sam, is that I think I'm not like huge into Beatles covers unless it's soul or jazz. And
yeah.
I mean, there are, that's not to say there aren't, I didn't choose any that, were rock and roll, because I did choose a couple, but I just think in general, the Beatles did it so perfect that if you're going to try and do it in their style, then you're just kind of sounding like good, but it's not quite the Beatles. But like these soul and funk musicians and jazz musicians that really kind of mixed it up and changed the arrangements and did other stuff, I think that shit is way cool. Very cool.
There's so much material out there too. I mean, I listened to hundreds of it. Was really fun.
Me too, yeah.
I narrowed my list to 5, which this is just 5 from what I just listened to.
Yeah.
The week prior to recording this. And I could have made a list of 25. I could make a 100-song playlist that everyone was worth listening to. I remember I sent you Yes cover, and it was so good. I was like, you got to listen to this. It did not make my top 5, but God, it was so good.
Oh man, that sucks, because I had never heard that before, and it was incredible. It's on Yes's
really
first album.
Great.
And I thought, well, I'm not going to choose it because Sam's going to choose this. I'm going to try and do different stuff. But
I didn't. Yeah. But that's how strong. I mean, the Beatles were so influential to music.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, Chuck Klosterman has a great podcast called Music Exists. And he and his co-host, they have a long discussion about, it's a Beatles-Stones conversation.
Yeah.
And it talks a lot about how would the rock band, Capitol rock band, be what it is now without the Beatles? A band that wrote their own material, performed their own material, had the kind of studio creativity and abilities and freedoms that the Beatles they sought after they achieved, and then they were able to capitalize on without them being the band they were. And I think their achievement in rock and roll really shows itself when you start to listen to how many bands have covered their material, and not just covered it, but took it in different and new and exciting directions. So, I mean, I tried to choose ones that were, there's some classics, there's some really gentle takes on things I liked, but I chose a really diverse list of 5. So, let's start.
Go first.
Give me you want me to?
Yeah.
All right. And these are in no order, and these are just this week.
Right.
So come at me. But number 1, I chose Bowie's Across the Universe from Young Americans. Which, I think Young Americans is a perfect record. Mm-hmm. Bowie's got 7 perfect records. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
But I love Young Americans. I listen to it constantly. And this Across the Universe, every time I hear it, gets me.
Yeah, it's great.
I almost forget when they start what song it is. It's very different. It's in a different key. It is just so great. And I think it really showcases David Bowie as a vocalist.
It does. I think his vocals are beautiful on that, yeah.
Oh, he lays it out there at the end. Really strains himself in a good direction. And it shows kind of a rockin' side to Bowie that you don't always hear.
Right.
Very impressive. So that's 1.
Okay. Well, my number 1 is I would say it's probably one of the more famous Beatles covers. I kind of thought, oh, this is too cliched. I can't choose this. But my wife was just like, it's cliched because it's perfect. And and I have to say, this was one of the first kind of Beatles covers that I heard that I was just like, holy shit, look what he did with this Beatles song. And it's We Can Work It Out by Stevie Wonder. And I just think pure joy. Just pure joy. And the bass and just kicks ass. So that's all I have to say about that.
If my list was 10, it would also be on.
I'm sure you've heard it, but it's great.
Yeah. It's so good. Also, a brief aside, I'm not going to insert music into these. Everyone should go listen to every Beatles cover they can find. But these are all, easy to find. Go listen to all of these.
Yeah.
My second is the same way, where it is one that everyone knows. It's one where a man took a song and, he also titled the album this, but it's Joe Cocker's With a Little Help from My Friends.
Yeah.
And I'm not a giant Joe Cocker fan. I'm really not. I think he's very talented, and I think he became a great musician covering others, which is fine. It was a different time in that, coming up in the 60s as a singer. But man, it is great.
Yeah, it really is.
I didn't want to put it on here, and I listened to it again. I was like, fuck.
Well, his band was absolutely incredible at that point.
Yeah.
So, like, even if it wasn't, and he did have an incredible voice. So, but yeah, the rhythm section and just the horns and it's just so emotional. Yeah. And you're right.
If you saw this at a club, it would floor you.
Yeah,
like,
it added a dimension that wasn't there in the original version, and that's incredible.
Yeah, it really like the song kicked ass rather than like was kind of bumping along like, "Woo, I smoke pot with my friends." Da, da, da. Like it was less of that. It was more like it was like an American version, not to insult the British. I love British culture. I'm just I mean, maybe not Brexit, but
yeah, that I'm glad you mentioned that too, because that definitely deserves to be there. Oh, Cocker, I like Cocker. I think Mad Dogs and Englishmen is an amazing live album, so I highly recommend Mad Dogs and Englishmen to everyone. My second one is Another Soul. Going instrumental, Booker T and the MGs, from their Beatles cover album called McLemore Avenue, which is the street that Stax Studios is on. So the picture of the album is like them walking across the street like Abbey Road. Very cool. I like the whole album, but the medley of Because and You Never Give Me Your Money, I just think is awesome. And it's like really unique because just you're not used to hearing Booker T and the MGs play in the style of like Because, and so it's got the kind of cheesy 70s keyboards, but it kind of like builds to a really really anthemic crescendo, and then just the way it crashes into this like sort of jazzy guitar jam of Steve Cropper on You Never Give Me Your Money just lights me up every time. So I recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, I can jump directly into my next now, too, because it's from the exact same record. And it's 10 plus minutes of the medley of Sun King, Mean Mr. Mustard, Polythene Pam, Bathroom Window, I Want You, She's So Heavy, which
is immediately following. So just listen to those two in a row, especially because the way that You Never Give Me Your Money flows into Sun King.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful.
Perfect. Yeah. Such a cool... I mean, there's so many instrumentals of the Beatles, and... the other side of Abbey Road is that George Benson?
George Benson, yep.
A little cheesy, not my favorite of all of them, but there's a lot of jazz and soul instrumental covers, even classical stuff out there of Beatles songs that really great and showcases their, it fleshes out some of the melodies that exist.
Right.
But this is a small band just playing instrumental, cool, groove-based versions, and that whole record's just fun. It's a good time. So that was my third as well.
Okay, cool. All right, so I guess I'm up again. Another instrumental, Jeff Beck, She's a Woman, off of Blow by Blow. Love it.
I love it too. That whole record. Go listen to Blow by Blow. If you're not a Jeff Beck fan, just put that on and you'll be a Jeff Beck fan.
Yeah. Oh. But super cool arrangement, like super funky. Even takes you a minute.
It's like reggae kind of.
You're like
island music.
Yeah, totally.
it's so cool.
And you're like, do I know this song? I think I know this song. Yeah.
I've played that before for people, and they're like, "Is this the Beatles?" Like, yes, it's that different, but like it still harkens to the melody enough to where I'm going a different direction, and I mean, I love this band, and I will like to say that listening to all the episodes currently of 60 Songs That Explain the 90s, a great podcast, please go, revitalized this band for me, and I went on kind of a deep dive listening to a lot of stuff, and this was like 6 months ago, and I found this, and it froze me in my tracks, is Boyz II Men's Yesterday.
Never heard
from Boyz II Men 2, their second record.
Whoa. Okay.
It is an all-instrumental version of Yesterday that is life-changing.
Oh, my God.
Absolutely. I mean, I love vocal groups.
Yeah.
I've always loved vocal groups. I remember you like playing Zap Mama for me at some point. And I was like, like Lady Smith, Black Mambazo, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This is a pop American version of that. God, just a bass singer gets me every time, and this one is so low. Like, listen to it loud.
I will.
It is gorgeous. And for a group like Boyz II Men to come out and play a Beatles song on their sophomore record, they're so popular, they're so big. I thought was a beautiful homage to just rock music being such a foundation for funk and soul and music at that time. I thought it was great.
Well, I can't wait to listen to it. I'm glad you mixed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, my next one, I'm going with Everybody's Got Something to Hide Except for Me and My Monkey by the Feelies. Definitely a raucous version. I would say that they did for Everybody's Got Something to Hide what Devo did for Satisfaction, and that they kind of like took this song and I mean, I guess they had all of these choices are transforming it, but transforming it in a way where it's like pretty kind of stops you in your tracks, and you're like, "Whoa, what's happening here? This is pretty wild stuff."
No, I loved that. That was I hadn't heard that in a very long time, and it was another find when I was digging through listening to all these covers that I loved. It was great.
Yeah,
I like the Feelies. Go listen to Feelies. What's their great record? Something Rhythms. I can't remember now.
Crazy Rhythms.
Crazy Rhythms.
Crazy Rhythms, and then they have three. They have three really.
That record's fun.
Yeah.
Well, my last is a departure from all the others. And there was a stretch. God, it was probably early 2000s where I was a big Elliott Smith fan.
Oh yeah.
I'm a little sad. I mean, it's a tough waters to wade into. But Figure 8 is kind of his bigger, poppier record where there was some commercial success that happened through that. And there's a cover of Because that is haunting and sad and takes a really, again, it takes the Beatles song, but makes it his in a very deep, meaningful, mournful kind of way.
You're so right. I just listened to that and I was like, because I think of the Beatles Because as being kind of hopeful.
Yes,
but I do not think of his as being hopeful.
No.
So, and I like what he did with it.
Yeah, it's just such a departure, and it's so deep, and it resonates with anyone who, can slip into that frame of mind. I thought it was really well done.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I got my fifth. I hate to do this to everybody, but I got a tie. I'm sorry to have to do it, but they're both soul songs. One of them is "I've Got a Feeling" by the Fifth Dimension, and it's great. I mean, it's just got like I feel like it could be the original. Like, I don't want to say it's better than the original, but I feel like they really tapped into something where I'm like, you know what this song is, and you delivered it in a great way, and it's really fun to listen to. So definitely
they can bring some cheese too, and this one was not cheesy.
Yeah, it's not cheesy. It really isn't. It's just funky. And then the other one, and this is just like straight up comedy, is Junior Parker doing Taxman. It's a must listen. I mean, it's not like the kind of cover they're like, I gotta listen to it 100 times, but you have to listen to it at least one time, if not two, just because the vocals are hilarious.
Yes.
I could just like imagine the Beatles listening to this cover just dying laughing. So yeah, that's a great one too.
I wonder how much Sir Paul, or is it Sir Ringo? Has he been? I'm sure he's been knighted. I wonder how much the remaining Beatles or the previous Beatles in their career ever paid attention. I mean, it's there's a really funny David Byrne interview which I've referenced on this podcast, which I'm sure we'll talk about when we get to Remain in Light, where he says, and you guys have done all these cover songs, and there was a point where you covered an album that I had something to do with because they did Remain in Light, and I wonder how much artists pay attention to other artists covering their material and then what they think about it.
Right.
They really do, because it's such a tribute and an homage and a respect to someone else. There's so many fields of work where taking someone's idea and kind of making it your own is really insulting.
Right.
I also, in the 60 songs that explain the 90s, heard a great song about how kind of angry Prince was with Sinead O'Connor taking one of his songs and making it her own, and how Otis Redding at Monterey Pop seemed a little angry about Aretha taking respect from him. Maybe not angry, maybe realizing that it's no longer yours,
right? Even
though you wrote it. So I wonder how the Beatles felt, because I don't think anyone made the songs theirs. I mean, maybe Joe Cocker's a little bit, but I just wonder. I wonder if, as an artist of that caliber, how you feel when other people really attempt to do justice to your work. So.
Yeah, I think that's interesting, and I think like the Beatles being the absolute top of the food chain, like there's probably not a lot of jealousy. I'm thinking from the. I mean, John seemed kind of like a prick and just kind of like a jealous person in general, so maybe he might have had a problem with it. But I get the feeling that like Paul or Ringo, or tough to say about George, but I feel like Paul or Ringo would be totally cool with it. But it depends, like, I mean, how honored do you think Bob Dylan was, like when the Staple Singers, like sang this song? He must have thought that was the greatest fucking thing in the world. But it's different when, whatever, Maroon 5 does a Bob Dylan song. I'm sure he's not terribly happy about it. So I think
he might just not listen. I don't know. Maybe John just needed better help.
Maroon 5. They were just in the news. I'm so sorry, everyone. My apologies.
Are we sponsored by BetterHelp now? For musicians. BetterHelp for musicians. It's a whole offshoot. So yes, go listen to this show. It belongs on this list. It'll forever belong on this list. Phish can play another 2,000 concerts, and this one will always be there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a go-to all the time for me, but this was so much fun on this journey we're on together to re-listen.
Yeah.
And it leads us into our next episode, which is going to be episode 24.
My lucky number.
And it is so far pretty incredible. It is one of those shows that kind of falls under the radar a little bit. It's not on a special night. It's not on a New Year's, Halloween, anything special. It's at a totally random venue. And I've been giving it some listens and am floored. So, next episode 24. Can't wait to spend some time discussing. And we are now in fall 94.
Sam, what will that episode be?
It's 11/12/94 at the Mack Center at Kent State.
Kent State, 11/12. Yeah, that's a great show.
I am 5 songs in, and I am absolutely flabbergasted with the quality. So,
right,
it's going to be fun. I'm excited to discuss with you about what our top 3s from this are going to be.
Do you have an initial thought about 11/2 being excluded from the list, or?
I think that based on the shows we've covered thus far, and how deeply covered 97 is going to be.
Yeah.
I also don't know if you noticed, I just listened to the first episode, Undermined, another Phish podcast, just by a little guy named Tom Marshall.
The Phish podcast.
They are basically doing a bunch of individual shows that lead up to fall 97.
Right.
And they're doing a whole, a whole series on fall 97, where they're going to be discussing all the shows, because it's 25 years, 20 year, whatever it was. Must be 25.
25.
I don't know. Don't make me do math. It's late.
It's 25.
But it seems like it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And he said, I mean, I didn't hear it in this episode, but he said that fans have been requesting that they edit more music in as guides, which we're already currently doing. So, I'm just trying to throw that out there that, I think we're doing a fine job.
You are doing a fine job. Sam does the editing here and adding the music, and I'm always impressed by what he does.
But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun next episode, and I'm pretty pumped on the show.
Well, everyone, I just want to say, if you happen to be just exploring this little micro era that we're talking about, 1029, 1031, 11/2 happens to have the tweezer that was on a live one. And it's incredible. The possum and the mango from that show are also top notch as well.
Tons of good music.
Yeah. So definitely kind of add that to your list.
An official release of that would be real nice.
That would be nice, yeah.
Kevin, every episode, Kev. Can I call you Kev? Just we're here. We're here for you. You're here for us. You can listen to these in pristine quality, and we cannot. So, we're just out here.
And we'd love to as well. As long as you're doing it, we're in.
We're out here doing the work, and we're willing to. We'd share whatever we had if you were willing to share whatever you have, and we can make this happen.
In fact, if you want some plump soundboards, Samurai are on it. We would be happy to turn you on to one of San Diego's greatest bands.
I guarantee he has 0 plump soundboards, or audience recordings for that matter, and we have more than most people. I mean, maybe than the band members. I'm not sure.
I hope the band members don't hear this. Well, everyone, it was a joy to talk to you about this amazing night in Phish history. And are we ready to bid them a fond adieu?
I think so. I think we've gone long enough without recommendations, and we'll do an extra recommendation next show.
Well, they got all their Beatle covers.
Oh, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, Boys to Men.
Just go listen to the Beatles.
Okay.
Beatles covers. Spend some time with one of the greatest bands of all time.
And a quick shout out to George Harrison's disco album, 33 and a Third.
Yep.
Very fun listen. Very fun listen. Give it a shot.
Ooh, Beatles Side Project covers. That's a whole nother. Brendan Benson. Let me roll it. There it is. That's the one to go to.
All right.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
Good night, Ian.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Hello there, friends, and thank you for listening. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or would like to reach out to Ian and I about anything at all, you can find us at companion2thecompanion@gmail.com.